What is going on, guys? This is XQ420 here. You know what the deal is. You know how I get down when I come around. I'm back. I'm in the building. We keeping things honest. We keeping things right. We keeping things tight. But if you've not subscribed to this channel yet, please do so. You won't regret it. You'll get a day that's in the commentary. Today's video. A New York Democrat put out a new bill that might allow them to seize you and take you to a detention center. They feel like you got the virus. Let's jump into this. All right, article right here from the Blaze. New York Democrat introduced bill allowing government to order the removal, detention of people with contagious diseases. All right, guys. I keep telling you. I keep telling people that, man, this thing is moving quickly. Before you know it, bud, they'll be busting up in your house. I mean, trying to extract you from you and your family, taking you out there, throwing you in a detention center or maybe a re-education camp. Then all of a sudden, they'll be like, "Oh, well, what happened to my dad? What happened to my mom?" Well, they had the convid and they didn't make it. And to find out it was a snuff job. I'm just saying, bud. I'm just letting you know how things can go down. Your boy's gonna let you know. So it said, New York's Libertarian Party is speaking out against new legislation that would vastly expand the power of the state's governor, permitting the detainment of individuals deemed to pose an imminent and significant threat to public health by being a suspected case, contact, or carrier of a contagious disease. Now you see that right there, boy. That's a long list of stuff of what they can detain you for: public health, suspected case, contact, or carrier. It's just got to be suspect, bud. You ain't got to actually have it. All you got to do is just have somebody get their rat game right. And I don't know if y'all seen, where was it? Where was I just seeing recently? Right here, Canada. I mean, there was 6 folks that having a little small gathering at their house, and some of the neighbors ratted them out, and the cops went up there, drug them right out the house, bud. Now, I indicate that because, man, we got to make sure that we keep our Second Amendment, okay? The right to bear arms. We got to make sure we keep that thing intact, or we're going to be looking like Canada and Australia, England. I mean, because they ain't worried about nobody having a firearm. And we talking about things like this. Now, the Second Amendment, it ain't so much just from protection from somebody who just busts into your home, which that's one thing. It's protection from a tyrannical government, okay? If they start overstepping their bounds, so people got something on them that they can get things done with. Now, I'm saying this because, this stuff right here, I don't need the Libertarian Party only to be talking about this thing. You know what I'm saying? To be like, hey, bud, that don't sound like a good idea. I mean, it don't sound like a great idea, actually. Man, I need Republicans speaking out, and I also need Democrats with a good mind, because, look, man, I ain't going to sit here and say that every single Democrat in the U.S. is just some filthy animal. Man, we ain't making no progress just doing that, but I mean, there's some that can be reasoned with. There's some you can talk to. You know what I'm saying? And let's get real. There's some radical folks on the on the conservative side as well, where they just too far out there. Well, we need to be more towards center. We need to center ourselves, okay? But everybody need to be like, "Oh, bud, we just getting a little bit too far out there, ain't we?" I mean, I'm just trying to figure this thing out. So, said the legislation recently introduced by New York Assemblyman Noah Nicholas Perry calls for amending New York public health law to permit the removal and detention of cases, contacts, and carriers who or may be a danger to public health. Okay? Upon the governor declaring a public health emergency, which right now they can just keep declaring it. It was only supposed to be 30 days, but they just keep declaring it. It's unconstitutional. Once again, bud, I'm trying to tell you. So here's what the bill states. but determining by clear and convincing evidence that the health of others is or may be endangered by a case, contact, or carrier, or suspected case, contact, or carrier of a contagious disease, that in the opinion of the governor, after consultation with the commissioner, may pose an imminent and significant threat to the public health, resulting in severe morbidity or high mortality, the governor or his or her delegee, including but not limited to the commissioner or the heads of local health departments, may order the removal and or detention of such a person or of a group of such persons by issuing a single order identifying such persons either by name or by a reasonably specific description of the individuals or group being detained. So wow, this is just left up to a couple folks. Hold, bub, you gonna put you just gonna make it where it just be like the government be like, man, I don't like what he said. I think he was around somebody with the convid. Go get him. Go get him. Scoop him up. Bo, this thing can be used for evil real quick, okay? Man, we don't need to be dragging folk out their home and throwing them in no detention center, bud. Bo. I mean, but this ain't a good idea, man. History repeats itself. And it usually repeats itself and it starts off with fear. The fear of something, okay? And that's what governments use to get their agendas pushed. Fear. Because they know when they got the masses afraid, then the masses will be complicit into the death of many, okay? If they feel like it's protecting the public. Alright? So I mean, man, this right here, I don't know, man. I don't even know how this got even put up there. Man, when somebody read it the first time, they'd be like, no, bro, go on with that thing. But man, this thing, but I mean, it's up there on the docket. We need to vote on this. No, bud. Come on, man. This ain't Nazi Germany. We gonna drag folk away? Man, let's get serious. Bud, we moving quickly. Vaccine passports. People over here trying to do some legislation to throw you in a detention camp if they feel like you endangering folks' lives. Just a feeling of a suspected case. What, we gonna go off a PCR? How many cycles you run to that? Hell, run the thing at 60 cycles. Well, you got it, don't you? Yeah, I know you do. It's like, dang, but let me throw you in the detention center. Now, they said the bill goes on to call for detention of such individuals in a medical facility or appropriate facility or premises designated by the governor or his delegate, as I said. But and it says until the government determines the person is no longer a contagious threat. Well, I mean, how long is that, bruh? What do you mean? Come on now. It said, however, the bill states that in no event shall any person be detained more than 60 days without a court order authorizing such detention. Bo, they can hold you down for 60 days? Put you in jail for 60 days. Bo, what, is that science involved in that? Let me know, bruh. Where's the science? I'm missing the science in that. I thought y'all, CDC done cut it down to 10 days now, supposedly. It was 14 days. Now that, man, you're going to be holding on to folk for 60 days. Where's science back? Trust the science. Oh, we about science. Y'all ain't about shit. You know what I'm saying? Man, this is about pushing an agenda. Let's get serious here. So it says, the governor or his delegee shall seek further court review of such detention within 90 days following the initial court order authorizing detention, and thereafter within 90 days of each subsequent court review. But they can just hold you indefinitely. Come on now, man. But you're allowing one person to just be the judge, the juror, and everything. You know what I'm saying? And you just holding on to folks that obviously won't be sick anymore. You see what I'm saying? But it's just giving, man, we are giving up too much of our rights and we're allowing these people to garner too much power. Government does not give power back, okay? They don't give it back. It has to be taken from them, okay? And I'm preferring that we take this through civil disobedience, okay? Because I don't, Man, I don't think people are understanding the ramifications that if people are made or if people start becoming desperate and their back is against the wall. You know, they always say that the the most dangerous animal is an animal that you got cornered, because they ain't no more flight involved. All there is fight, okay? And it'll scrap to the end. So, Bud, man, we don't want this to go down. And man, he's pushing something out there to be like, yep, Bo. I mean, the government just be like, yep, just go and swoop them up, bro, throw them in detention center. We give them 60 days, let them cool off. And if they ain't cooled off yet, we get our court order right. And you know they own the courts. Come on now, we've seen that. We've seen that through the election stuff and all that, but they own the courts. I mean, I mean the courts won't come out and speak for us. Somebody's got to bring something to them. You know, the court's been like, oh yeah, man, what they've been doing is unconstitutional. I just ain't said nothing, so we don't care. It's like, the what, man? Man, folks should be standing up. I mean, Bud. I mean, and they got Cody Anderson right here. He's a chairman of the Libertarian Party, and of course he's doing the right thing to denounce the bill. And and he said, no U.S. state was ever meant to have a single person acting as judge and jury without checks or balances. If this bill is allowed to pass, that's exactly what New York will have. And we already know what the deal is with New York, Bo. I mean, it's flat out dictatorship up there right now. I mean, let's get real. There's a few flat out dictatorships. New York, because because the NYPD, which the politicians slandered their name, and then they are proudly going out there and shutting folks' business down and slamming folks' head in the street. And they ain't got no mask on. You got California. Now, we got some sheriffs out there doing the right thing, but we got a whole lot of folk out there doing the wrong thing against people who ain't criminals, man. But then they release the criminals. You know what I'm saying? Let me put them back on the street. Judge orders to release half your inmates, folks that been stabbing, raping folks, slitting folk throat, burning people up. Yeah, let's put them back on the street. I mean, 'cause we scared they might catch the sniffles in jail. We're pathetic, bud. You know what I'm saying? This is absolutely pathetic. And he said, we once again demand that legislative leaders be principled when they claim my body, my choice. They must not pick and choose. Yes, what happened to that? People keep saying my body, my choice. My body, my choice. Now, we ain't got no problem throughout the world killing 43 million children, babies, this year through abortion. We have no problem with that at all. And you know, that's not added to the total death toll. That's not added. That would be excess deaths to me. So excess deaths this year throughout the world. You see, I don't see uh, natural viruses, sicknesses as excess deaths. I think we need to change our theory on what an excess death is. For me, an excess death is something like car accidents, um, killings, you know, shootings, anything in war, of course, and then abortions. That's what I believe excess deaths to be. That's how we calculate. Well, how many people we have die in car accidents? How many people we have killed as far as through murder or something like that? And then abortion. I mean, that's what I think. Then that's the tally excess deaths. I ain't never, because natural occurring things, we're not gods, and we don't get to pick and choose how many people die in a year. I'm just saying that. So, so the my body, my choice thing. I mean, that's thrown out the window unless you talk about abortions. That's the only time that thing matters. Now Perry, he tried to back his bill. He said his bill's receiving unfair criticism. He explained that he initially introduced the legislation during the Ebola scare. Look, Bo, let me tell you something about Ebola, okay? All right. And he said, before I tell you about Ebola, he said there's no intent, no plan, or provisions in my bill to take away or violate any rights or liberties. Yeah, right. People always say that. Look, let me tell you something about Ebola, all right? They ain't no guessing if you got that, but you bleeding out of all your orifices. Bo, your likelihood of dying is real high, okay? It ain't no low figure, all right? But when you get the Ebola, you ain't guessing about it, okay? It ain't no sniffles, a little runny nose, and you'll be all right the next day. Bo, that stuff will straight up strip you. It strip you everything, strip you down to to your birthday suit. I'm trying to tell you, man. So we need to calm down on up. Talking about Ebola. Bo, if Ebola was running rampant out here, man, you can believe me, the door would be locked, bruh. I mean, I'd already got what I need to get. And I'm gonna tell you, you wouldn't have to tell nobody not to go outside, because you see folks bleeding out there, and it'd be a real thing. It'd be real serious. All right. So, so of course he says down here, he says a proper reading of the bill will find significant attention was paid to protect individual rights. Please, man. They always say that, but in closing on this, you see how they like to spin it right there at the end. Oh yeah, we trying to protect your rights. But you're giving people power to bust up in somebody's house and drag them out the house for them being a suspected case and for them to being a harm to society. But we moving quickly. We're moving quickly. People pay attention. I mean, get right. Go talk to somebody. But I've been trying to have conversations. Trying to have conversations on my own Facebook about how what we're doing what we doing ain't working. They're like, oh, well it ain't working because folks ain't wearing masks. I was like, well, is people in your area overwhelming amount wearing masks? He said, yeah, but that's not the way it is everywhere else. I'm like, are you that stupid? People are that dumb. I'm like, dude. So you mean to tell me when you go out, everybody's wearing a mask, okay? But but everywhere else in the United States, ain't nobody wearing no masks. That's why the cases are up. Because they've just let people do what they want to do. Where have you been, dude? There ain't been but one place where you could just do what you wanted to do. Well, a couple places. I know the main one's South Dakota. All right. Other than that, both have been kind of scarce, man. They've been some type of form of lockdown, a curfew, or something. All right, mask mandate or something. So I mean, please, man, spare me the speech. So I mean, I'm seeing more and more that we just got, man, we got a code of lockdown. They want us to remain in lockdown. And those are the same people that have no problem with somebody busting up in your house, dragging you out the house, dragging this detention center. And if we don't hear from you again, they can just say it was the convid and that'd be it. Hey, but it can get deep like that. There was a lot of folks who thought they were helping back then when they were in Nazi Germany, didn't think anything was happening, following orders. And hey, but we knew how that ended up. So I want to know what y'all's thoughts are on this in the comment section below. I know I probably went a little long on this, but I had a lot I had to say. But that's okay. I do hope y'all enjoyed it, though. If you did, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when I post in the future. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.